Welcome you all to the training Hack Your Patterns. For now in these online courses I will help you getting some insights of your own patterns that you have in your life. Normally we're not quite aware of what we do and why we do it, but we give you a couple of tools, a couple of assignments, so you can get more insight about it and how to react to it in the future. So what can you expect from your own patterns? My name is Tess van Gogh. I'm part of the Academy crew. What we do here is we guide students to develop their own training that helps putting the student in charge. For this course, we're going to reveal your patterns. We all had some highs and lows in our life. It's no exception, we all had it, and it built us to who we are today. For this assignment, we're going to ask to make a matrix of the highs and lows you experienced so far in your life. Here in this matrix, you see an example of what I would like you to do for now. Write down your highs and lows. Divide them in mental and physical ones. On top one, you write down your mental highs, mental lows, really important, and below is the physical one. Be aware they can be aligned. So for example, if you had a divorce of your parents, it can give you a lot of stress, so you experience some of this physical hiccups. And the other way around, of course. If you had like a broken leg or something really physical happen to you, it can put you down in your mental development and can also make you unhappy, or maybe when you're really fit, it can make you really happy. Try to think about it, write them down. Just don't do too much for now, just only do that. Okay, when you have done that, I would like to ask you to rank the experiences you have, as well the positive ones as the negative ones. We have -5 till +5. Just try to compare what happened to each other. After you have ranked the experience you've had so far, you're going to add your age to it. Of course, not every experience happened overnight and it's just one moment to pinpoint. So what you do is write down the year behind it, or even when it's a longer period in time, add the start year and the end year. So you wrote down your experience, you ranked them, and you add your age to it. Now we're going to work with the timeline. After revealing your patterns, we will give you more insights by making it visual. I would suggest before we start this, get a ruler and some different color pencils. Also get a big piece of paper. It's quite handy to work with because it's going to be quite a big timeline. First, drawing two lines, two axes. You have one of your ranking, so below -5, on top +5. The vertical x is -5 and +5. It's from the ranking. And the horizontal one is the one from age. So 0 to 80. Now start with your mental points. These points are a combination of the experience you had, the ranking, and the age it was. I took mine at 27. So I had some highs and lows in my life, and I just wrote dots on the timeline. After you draw the axes, we're going to add the experiences based on age and ranking. Try to do this for the mental part for now. After you put down all of the dots, you can start to connect them. Give them a different color than one of your physical ones. You have now a timeline based on all the experience you've had. What we would like to do is ask some questions about it. And I want to ask you to take your time and try to think about this one. Question 1. Explain your highs and lows and explain what happened to that moment. Imagine yourself not at the dot, but at the line who's going to the dots, if it's high or low. It's about focusing on the way you got there. Question 2, how did you handle these highs and lows? Also the question, what did you do at that moment? Who was there for you? Was there someone around you? Did you change scenery or way you lived? Did you start a diet or something else happened? What happened? Try to write it down after the experience you had so far. Question 3. Which emotions were dominant at the time, and where did this result in? It's important to notice, like, how did it make you feel? Because we all have the same feelings. It's important that we notice what experience made us feel good, bad, but there are way more range. So try to describe it quite precisely, not only just made me happy or not. If you have a pattern in the future that will be quite the same, you will recognize it by the emotion you have at that moment. Question 4. Are there any similarities you had between the highs and the lows? We talked about emotions before. You know, sometimes you have the same emotions with a different experience you had. For example, I heard some people telling in classes before that when they move, they feel more happy, they experience more freedom. Or maybe when there is a fight between your parents, did it make you feel bad over and over again? So try to figure out which one are more dominant and which one are connecting with each other, because they made you feel the same. You will see that most of the times you follow up in these same patterns over and over. We just made a timeline based on the experience we had, the ranking and our age. Now we're going to look to the future, at what you want in the future. Do you have like this higher image of yourself? We're going to take a look on what you want to do in your life. Which perspectives do you think you have? What knowledge do you have and how can you benefit from it based on the previous experience you had so far? We're going to do this based on 6 questions. So I have your first question. What makes you happy? Just write it down. It's important to take a little bit more time for this question, because in the beginning you will come up with obvious answers, of course. But if you think more, think about small things. Think about sun is shining, or think about having good conversations. Really important for you to write it down to give you more of a guidance which way you want to go for in your future. Question 2. What makes you wake up every day? This is part of the stupid and the smart rule. I will explain to you later. For now, think of something that is something you want to achieve in your life. It's more like a vision. You will never actually accomplish it, like world peace. I hope we will achieve world peace one day, but it's quite of an abstract thing. Try to come up with something for you that is a bigger goal that's almost unachievable. Question 3. Which highs and goals do you want to achieve in your life? This is the positive part of your future. By defining them, like we did before, but also really defining which moment you want to experience, so try to visualize it, will help you to have a clearer view what you want to achieve in the future. It's still a little bit guessing, but that's okay for now. What we're going to do is make these highs goals smart. So it should be measurable. Something I would prefer to do what you want to achieve in a year, of course, because when you do that, we can use it for in the future. So what's exactly the difference between stupid and smart? In this sheet, you have 2 examples for what exactly is a stupid rule and a smart rule. You see more defined in these words what it means. So first think of your stupid rule. It's your higher rule. Your stupid rule, what I told you before, is the bigger picture. So try to define it your higher goal. It's really something you want to achieve. What do you have to do for different goals to achieve this? This is like making a word spider. In the middle, you have your stupid rule. If you split it in smart goals, that are the sides of the inside of your spider. So write down and make it smaller and smaller and smaller. First you will notice that you just have the big ones, it gets more abstract, but once you want to have concrete goals. What little baby steps bring you to that higher goal you want to achieve? Question 4. Which lows do you expect in your life? Think about what you just wrote down in the spider with the stupid and the smart rule, and try to define what will happen in your life, what experience you will have. Think about you will meet the love of your life and you want to get married. So let's write on marriage, but also what we will experience is sometimes the death of loved ones. Maybe you already experienced this before, so you know a little bit, or just will have this pattern how you will react. Try to define it like in the future. There are always some things, but also the ones you want to achieve. Where do you want to be? Do you want to have a big company, or you want to have a dog? Doesn't matter, but you can write it down. So It's a little bit more abstract. You don't know exactly when it will happen. And if you can guess it and you already vision yourself doing that, you can say, maybe in 10 years I want to achieve this. So try to implement that and think about it. So you have a clearer goal where you want to go. How you can do that is in the following way. You have the timeline you previously made. You already have a list of your stupid rule, your smart rule, and based on that, what you want to achieve in the future. So we're going to plot it again. So you can rank it, you can add your age to it. So you made a selection again, but then for the future. On experience, you will have the ranking and the age. First, just put all of the highs, put the dots down. When you've done them, put down the dots for the lows you had in your life. It will give you a perspective on what you want to achieve in the future. Question 5. Which patterns will make your transition harder? Most of the times experience we had back then are quite a big influence and also something that will happen in the future. So look at the patterns and look at your future patterns and compare them. Where will be some hiccups? What, like for example, if you have anxiety when you move, what will happen if you move again? Is there someone by your side the last time when you got up from your low and get in a high? Maybe someone you know can help you, or maybe just some experience can improve that moment. Try to think about it. Which patterns will benefit you? There are also really good ones, and they will help you develop yourself in your future. You have a clear way of thinking how you want to achieve your goals and what can be things that will stop you from getting there. Maybe there are people who can help you who did that in the past. For example, if you want to have a better health, maybe just doing it together with others motivates you to go on. I would recommend, for example, go with a friend or be part of a sports team. They can motivate you, they can help you, and it can just be that extra motivation to get your goal. So now we notice we can just connect the rest of the lines. Also, this is about your mental part again. If you want to do this for your future, maybe you have something physical or someone else will have something that's really close to you. You can also add this line, but that's optional. What I said before, we mainly want to focus on your mental development. So now we wrote everything down and we made our timeline as well for the past as the future. And that's something really helpful. It works with a lot of people. The last course, we're going to write a letter to grandma. This is something that's really helpful for you, because you can have a clear view of where you are now, where you want to be, how you're going to achieve it, and you are going to write it down. So let's start with the next task. So it's the last task, and this is one of the most important we're going to do so far. We're going to write a letter to grandma or grandpa. What you want to do, you want to write it down simple. And that's really important for you. So it can also be a letter to your mother or your father or someone is dear to you. Describe it in such a way that they would understand you. What you're going to do is write down in this letter all the experience you've had so far and where you want to go. And the clear thing is, in 1 year, I want to achieve this. And that's connected to my higher goal and how I'm going to achieve that. So after you've done this, take an envelope, put it in there, seal it. That's really important. You cannot read it in the meanwhile. Don't let it read by anyone else. Write down the date of today. Write down the day of next year. Put it in your agenda, just because you will forget about that date. You will definitely forget, and one day it will pop up. Put it somewhere, no one will get it. It's just for you. In 1 year, you will open this letter and you will read what you wrote 1 year ago. And I will guarantee you it will be an eye-opening thing. Because you will be a different person in 1 year. It's remarkable how fast time goes. It will drive you to achieve more in the future because you want to achieve this goal. You set clear goals for yourself. You can write a letter to yourself every year again. It's something I do every year and it's remarkable because I forget. Like for example, I had this person in my life and I was like, oh, it's the biggest thing. But there's just 1 year, it's all relative. It will get you a more clear perspective on what can happen in 1 year and how you can develop yourself. So I would highly recommend it to repeat this every year so you can learn from yourself. If you want, you can let someone else read it so they can give you feedback as well. But that's all up to you. If you have any questions, please write me an email, we can chat, we can have this conversation about it. I can help you with defining your goals and writing this letter, because it can be quite hard. Thank you for joining this online course of Hack Your Patterns. If you would like, maybe in the future, keep an eye on the Academy work page. We will also spread some emails for all of the students, because we're going to do this live in the future again. So if you want, you can also join the same course in real life, hopefully in the future. For now, I hope you have a more clear insight of what your previous patterns, what they were, how they were created, and how they can influence your future and how you can influence these patterns. Thank you.